Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is McPato and this is McPato PC. And today I'm bringing you an unboxing and preliminary overview of my new case, the Thermaltake View 71 Tempered Glass Edition. And as you can see, it is a full-size tower. This will be my first build in a full-size tower, so I'm pretty excited about that. And perhaps more exciting, this will be my first attempt at a custom water loop or water cooling loop. So that will be an upcoming build. But before we get to all that, let's get to the case. The box is quite large, measuring 16 inches wide by 28 inches tall. So quite large, and in terms of length, it's good 27.5 inches in length. It came quite a distance, so the story here is that I was unable to order this case on Amazon due to where I live without paying really high shipping prices. Fortunately, Newegg Canada had the case listed on their eBay store, and I bought it on there with free shipping. So it came all the way from Markham, and I live north of Alberta, so very far up in Canada. And it's arrived with, there's a minor little bit of a nick on the top here. The cardboard is torn, but otherwise looks like the packaging is good. So hopefully there are no broken panels. Also worth noting, this case is 22 kilograms according to the label on the top of the box, and it's quite heavy for an empty case. But without further ado, let's open the box and see what we're dealing with. Alright guys, so before we move ahead with the case, let's just have a look at what comes included with the case in terms of accessories. So you get this nice little box here. It's conveniently stashed away in one of the hard drive cages. And it's just secured with two plastic ties, so it's not difficult to get out. Once you open that box, you will find two of these low speed, I believe, adapters for your two included 140mm Thermaltake Blue Riing fans. So those are definitely some nice fans. You also get these cable ties. You get, of course, the standard screws and standoffs, though it looks like the standard standoffs for ATX build are already in place inside the case. So these would be if you needed additional, or if you're using a different form factor like EATX motherboard. And then as you can see here, you've got a ton of screws, so should have no difficulties meeting your needs there. It comes with this very nice manual, which on this first page here actually breaks down your accessories, the number of accessories, and what it's used for. So that's definitely very nice. And also here you can see your breakdown of radiator support, fan support, power supply, etc. And as you can see here, EATX motherboards 12 by 13 are compatible. So definitely a very versatile case. And we'll get into some of the internals here in a bit. On the next page, it covers some warnings, goes over the maximum height of your CPU cooler and length of your GPU. Again, I don't think there's going to be too many issues with compatibility with regards to those two items. So moving on, also included is this little tool for putting in or removing the standoffs for the motherboard. So on one end it's like a hex type head, and on the other it's a standard Phillips screwdriver type head, which everyone would have, I would think. Then you have 4 of these rubber standoffs for your power supply. I'll point out where they go inside the case in a few moments here, but there's little divots on some raised sections inside the case. And you get 4 or actually 8 black fan screws, as well as an internal computer speaker. Okay, so we're going to move on to the actual case. Alright, now with the accessory overview out of the way, I'm going to start my review, or overview rather, of the case. I'll wait to do a review till I've actually built and used the case for a while. That way I'll have more input. But for now I'm going to leave this plastic film on there just to protect the glass from fingerprints and possible damage. So it just keeps it clean. In terms of opening the side panels, what Thermaltake has done is they've included 2 of these thumb screws on each side panel. They do come with a rubber gasket, and they screw in here and down here. Once removed, the glass opens freely. It's very sturdy, and you can go up until the glass would touch on the vertical GPU mount. So basically you can open it this far with the mount in place, and you can also lift it up, and you'll note that the top hinge is longer than the bottom hinge. Let me get some light here for you guys. So this, from my understanding, this is longer than the bottom, which helps you when putting the glass back on. These are those, that's my dog watching. These are the divots where the rubber supports for the power supply go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, a nice spacious case. And here's your rear 140mm Thermaltake ring fan. And in the front, you've got the same thing, 140 on the bottom, Blue Riing fan. You've got a total of 4 Harddrive cages in the front. These are modular and can be removed. There's a total of, looks like 8 screws, and this whole thing comes out. Or you can take out just the bottom one, or just the top one. They are separate, so 2 by 2. Here are your rubber grommets. Here, here, here. And there's also cutouts in the back down below where you could route some cables. With the side complete, we're going to move to the front of the case. Alright, so on the front of the case, right away you can see here we have a reset button, your headphone jack, your microphone, USB 2, USB 2, and 2 USB 3s, along with your hard drive indicator light and your power button off to the side here. And you'll see that the glass is kind of tapered here with your power button, and you'll see that same tapering in the opposite corner down at the bottom. To remove the front panel, it's the same as the sides, so you've got a total of 4 of these screws. And they also include rubber gaskets to help keep from damaging the glass. Alright, so with the 4 removed, we can remove the front glass panel. And here we see nice filtration, subtle Thermaltake branding down at the bottom. Alright, so I've removed the top panel, which is this one here. And the filtration is very fine. It's quite a quality filter. And on the inside here, it's held with these small tabs. I imagine you could take it out for cleaning, although myself, I have a nice air compressor, so I'll just blow it out with air the way that it is here. And it just clicks on with these tabs, so basically you just pop it off. The same is true for the front panel. You pull it from the bottom and it will pop off just the same way. Has that same filtration, which is again very fine. And there's that subtle Thermaltake branding. So as far as these panels go, they are just plastic. They're fairly rigid. I wouldn't say they're flimsy by any means. And they feel nice. They don't mark with fingerprints. So a nice finish there. Here is the front with my light here. So as you can see, there's room for, I believe, 2 140mm fans on the front or 3 120s. You could easily do sort of a push-pull configuration with a rad, up to 360 in the front, or sorry, up to 420 in the front. So no problem there, full coverage with the fans. In terms of cable length for the fans, this is about what you get, which I feel would probably be about 12 inches of cable length. And these fans are 3-pin, not PWM fans, just the 3 pins. We'll move on to the side. Alright, so again, opening the glass is no problem, thanks to those hinges. Also no problem is cable management on the back of this case. First thing you'll notice here is these little plates, 1, 2, 3. You can put either a standard 3.5-inch hard drive on here, or 2 SSDs per tray, for a total of 6 SSDs on the back, or 3 hard drives, or a combination of both. So definitely a lot of possibilities there. And don't forget you have those front 4 cages as well, which accommodate 3.5-inch hard drives and probably SSDs as well. So a lot of choices. You have a nice big cutout for access to the rear motherboard for back plates and that kind of thing. You've got your standard connections here, USB 3 for the front, USB 2, and power and reset and all that. There's quite a bit of distance between the back of the motherboard and the glass panel. In terms of distance from the motherboard to the edge of the case, it's 1 3/8 of an inch. So pretty generous amount of space. Again, that would be slightly less, of course, where the drives are in position. You have to imagine that'd be about an inch or so. But in this area here, you'd have about 1 3/8. So that's pretty good. Other things I've noticed that are worth mentioning: on the top of the case, you have a removable, I guess, fan or radiator support. So you can take these thumb screws out and it can be moved further forward or further backwards to accommodate motherboards or cooling solutions or radiators for different thicknesses, etc. So that's very nice to have those options. And you can also obviously remove it to mount your fans and radiator to it, and that makes installation of those components much easier. In addition to the filtration, which I've pointed out on the top and the front, there's excellent filtration on the bottom in the form of this pull-out filter, which spans the entire length of the bottom of the case, at least where it's open. So that'll help keep your power supply clean, as well as if you've put a fan on the bottom and the front there, that'll keep dust out as well. There's one other thing I would like to show you guys on the bottom. So just stand by, I'll tip it over and show you that right away. Alright, so what I want to show you is right here. There's actually a removable panel. Pretty tight. And what this panel access gives you is, if you have a radiator in the front of your case, you can actually have a drain port at the bottom, and this allows you to drain your liquid water cooling effortlessly and easily through the bottom. So that's a really nice feature to have. You'll also note the 4 rubber feet, which help keep it secure on a hard surface. Alright, that will conclude my unboxing and overview of the Thermaltake View 71 tempered glass. Just a reminder to you guys that if you do buy this case, there are accessories that you can purchase also. I'll put a link to everything in my description below for Amazon, for Canada and the US. So basically you can buy, of course, the 140 millimeter static pressure fans in the Blue Riing. I got a 2-pack on Amazon, as well as I got a 3-pack or 3 bundle of the 120 millimeter Blue Riing fans. Those are also high static pressure, and these all come with a low noise cable included, which will reduce your RPMs to keep your build really quiet. Also comes with all the hardware, of course, to put that in. And in the back there's your PCI Express 3.0 by 16 cable. So that helps you, should you want to use the vertical riser for your GPU. That's something you would need. I've read a lot of reviews from people that have bought no-name versions of that cable, and the results are pretty mixed, but a lot of people say that they noticed significant dips in their FPS. So if you are going to buy one, I would say buy a cable from a reputable company, and Thermaltake, of course, is reputable as per the reviews. People are saying that it's great, and they've lost very little to no FPS using it. So keep that in mind as well. Thanks guys for tuning in. This has been McPato and my overview of the Thermaltake View 71 Thermal Glass Edition, and some of the accessories that you can buy for the case as well. I'm excited to put a build together in this in the next few weeks, hopefully. And if that's something you'd be interested in, stay tuned. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.